final match day in the round of 16 for the 2018 Scotiabank Concacaf League, and we find ourselves at the National Stadium in the capital of Jamaica in Kingston for what should be a terrific match. It's Portmore United with a 2-1 lead on aggregate, taking on Santos de Guapiles of Costa Rica, a finalist from a year ago in this competition, as the fans here in the capital of Jamaica ready to go. 90 degrees at kickoff, a slight chance of rain, and a major gust coming in as well, as these two teams looking to take a step forward into the quarterfinals. Santos, well, they got to the finals a year ago. They're trying to avoid not getting ousted in the round of 16. Portmore United, they fell in penalty kicks in the round of 16. They much feel like they have some unfinished business here in the Scotiabank Concacaf League. Tyler Terrence on hand. So glad that you can join us. And for Portmore United, they're looking for a quick start, similar to what they did back in Costa Rica in the first leg, as we'll take a look at the road to the final. Now, as you can see, a number of teams have already punched their ticket into the next round. Herediana will be taking on Walter Ferretti. Foss awaiting their opponent in Arnett Gardens, and Arabe Unido, although Arabe Unido with a 3-0 lead heading back home, so that should be in the bag for them. FC Motagua will await the winner of this matchup in Santos and Portmore. FC Motagua taking down the Belmopon Bandits 3-0 on aggregate. And Walter Ferretti, as we mentioned before, and then it'll be Tauro and Real España at 10 o'clock. Arnett Gardens and Arabe Unido at 10 o'clock kickoff as well. And Herediano coming away just by the skin of their teeth in that second leg in El Salvador, with Yendrick Ruiz coming off of the bench in the 38th minute, scoring what would be the game-winning goal in the 41st. As the Costa Rican side making their way out, they feel that wasn't one of their best performances by any stretch of the imagination in their home country at Estadio Nacional in the first leg, conceding goals in the 14th and 18th minute to Javon East, and then Foster in the 18th. Arboine would get one back from a penalty in the 80th, but Shavar Thomas's side were able to hang on and get a very crucial win and two away goals. Or excuse me, two away goals, that is. And is Santos de Guapiles side, well, they're certainly going to need some away luck if they're going to come away from this round of 16. But this Portmore United side sports a lot of young talent, including their captain, Malik Foster, 21 years of age. Ricardo Morris, very talented at 25, a number of caps with the Reggae Boys. As there's a look at Johnny Chavez as the players getting set to make their way out of the tunnel. Santos falling in the final in 2017 to Olympia in penalties. Santos awarded the Fair Play Award as well as the goalkeeper of the tournament to Brian Morales, who is going to get the start in between the sticks for Mr. Chavez tonight. And a look at our refereeing crew as well briefly. We'll highlight them in just a moment. Fernando Gomez from Mexico will be in charge of tonight's match. And Portmore will be wearing their white kits. Santos de Guapiles in their all red. And Portmore United doing well in the Caribbean Club Championship. Third place, that's what allowed them to qualify for this tournament. And here come the players out onto the field here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. It's Santos de Guapiles of Costa Rica taking on Portmore United FC of Jamaica.
Good luck, like my fans. Good luck.
Almost ready for kickoff here in the National Stadium in the capital of Jamaica, Kingston, as we'll take a look at how Portmore are going to line up for Shavar Thomas, the second-year head coach. Kamar Foster getting the start in goal. Damano Solomon, Ryan Wellington will be holding it down in the back. Ricardo Morris in the middle of the park, the captain. Malik Foster, the talented youngster, just 21 years of age, who garnered a lot of attention at the MLS Combine for Caribbean youngsters back in January. Javon East, who was one of the goal scorers, will be up top with Evans, Roberto Johnson, Rosario Harriet, and Donajay Fair of Suriname, one of two Surinamese players on this Portmore United roster. As our refereeing crew, all Mexican and led by Fernando Hernandez. Karen Diaz, Jose Camargo will be out on the flanks. Fernando Guerrero, our fourth official for this evening.
You stay here? Okay.
As you hear Ricardo Morris and Azo Feifa, who is excellent in the 2017 edition of the Scotiabank Concacaf League, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries, and that will probably be the only time we see that tonight. Has a spot in the quarterfinals on the line. And look at how Johnny Chavez's side is going to line up. Brian Morales, the goalkeeper of the tournament from 2017, getting the start. Michael Barquero on the outside. Pablo Arboine, who is responsible for the lone goal for Santos back in Costa Rica. Jose Garro will get the start as well along the back line. Stephen Williams is going to get the start. That's a change from what we saw in the first leg, and then very much business as usual for Johnny Chavez's side, who is looking to get back to CONCACAF League glory, as we'll take a look at some of the substitutes available for both of these managers. As it's going to be Starling Matarrita available. Number 10, Francisco Rodriguez, Eder Solorzano, who made a number of appearances off the bench back in 2017 in this tournament for Johnny Chavez. And for Portmore United, Rondi Smith, Gerald Vikes, Saniki Burton, all good options moving forward. But they're going with the same exact starting 11 that they went with a week ago. There was a look at Ronaldo Dinaliz, 23-year-old from Colón, Panama. One of the few internationals on the Santos de Guapiles side. Santos in their all red kits, Portmore United in their all white. A spot in the 2018 Scotiabank CONCACAF League quarterfinals on the line. The Jamaican side, the home side, with a 2-1 lead on aggregate, thanks to goals from East and Foster in the 14th and 18th minute, respectively. Arboine in the 80th minute from the penalty marker. Well, that was the first half of the story. How will the second half unfold? We'll find out. 90 minutes ahead of us from the capital of Jamaica, as we're officially underway. Portmore using their counter-attacking abilities back in Costa Rica a week ago to try to catch this Santos de Guapiles side off guard, and they were able to do so twice in the first half in a matter of 4 minutes. Jose Garro. He was excellent defensively for Santos in 2017 in this competition. Paired up with Eder Monguillo, and it was actually Garro taking Monguillo's number this season, as that one is shielded out of play by Roberto Johnson. The 22-year-old from Kingston will be celebrating his 23rd birthday in September, in his third season with Portmore. Started 18 matches, appeared in 21 a year ago, just scoring 1 goal, the defender, as he gets an early touch here. Portmore on the move for the first time tonight. Ricardo Morris, the captain, spraying it out wide. Great move. Dangerous here for the Jamaicans as they send it across. A good defensive play, but very similar to what we saw from Shavar Thomas's side a week ago. Lightning quick on the counter. They love the 1v1 situations. And the first corner of the night coming up for Portmore, the home side. Morris standing on top of it. And there is a look at Johnny Chavez in his 4th year. Since 1999, the longest tenured head coach of Santos. Played a little bit of musical chairs before finding Johnny Chavez. Garo bringing it down. Sent away. As Dean Elise was putting pressure on the Portmore right back. Giovanni Willis and Shavar Thomas, who had a fantastic playing career, with the majority of that coming in Major League Soccer in the United States for Kansas City Wizards, now known as Sporting Kansas City, LA Galaxy, Chivas USA, Philadelphia Union, Montreal Impact. List goes on and on. Finished up with the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Has over 50 caps for the Jamaican national team. He actually played for Hazard United as well, which was originally the name of Portmore United before they rebranded. And played a couple of years of college soccer as well at the University of Connecticut. One of the best soccer programs in the United States at the college level. And was an All-American as a sophomore before declaring for the MLS draft. Here's our first look at Kamar Foster, 25-year-old keeper. As of FIFA, turning out of trouble. Good play from the skipper. Gives it away right on cue. And Portmore off and running once again. And good defending from Pablo Arboine, a lone goal scorer for Santos back in the first leg. Actually comes off the mix section of Ricardo Morris. 11 goals last year for Portmore. 27 starts, 29 appearances. Very much one of the main men up top. It's Javon East sending it forward. Another last-ditch defending effort from Santos. We're consistently put under pressure by Donaji Fair. Early ball sent in, and the shot from Malik Foster just skipping wide. Portmore claiming that Santos got a touch to it. We mentioned before the talent of Malik Foster, 4 goals a year ago at just 20 years of age. 3 caps with the Reggae Boys. All 3 of those caps coming within the past 6 months in the 3 friendlies that they played against Antigua and Barbuda. As Dean Elise sends it across, and easy work for Kamar Foster. Garo gets to it. Fair finding Foster, but bothered a little bit by Jose Garo. And a slip up over on the other end, but a good recovery. Stephen Williams making his presence felt as Morris comes away with it. Sending it in the opposite direction. Malik Foster running onto it, but the clearance from Brian Morales. It was a good idea for Morris. You can see why he's one of the leading goal scorers for Shavar Thomas a year ago, as well as playmakers in the middle of the park. Fair keeps it in play. Javon East. Hospital ball in the middle of the park, broken up. Referee says all ball involved. Ricardo Morris on the move. Around the first defender. But a heavy touch. And showing a bit too much of it to Pablo Arboine, who's been excellent defensively in the opening 7 minutes. Still 2-1 to Portmore on aggregate. That could all change though, Morris. Good sliding challenge at the back from Santos. On Madrigal. Gets it into the middle of the park and fouled on the play is Raymond Salas. One of the many goal scorers for Santos in the 2017 Scotiabank Concacaf League, has some good footwork and just putting himself between Roberto Johnson and the ball. Willis gets it over for Harriet. Salas linking up with Azofeifa, trying to get on the end of it. Cleared away by the Portmore back line. Solomon on the scene. 3 goals from that center back position a year ago in his 3rd season. Salas gets to the byline. Header bounces around, loose in front. What a save from Foster, able to keep it out. And a corner coming up for Santos de Guapoles. But Stephen Williams denied by the paw of Kamar Foster. What a reaction save. Williams didn't know where it was. It was loose on the floor. And just trying to put it on frame anywhere else and it would have gone in. Ensuing corner kick, gets all the way to the back post. Dinalise tracking it down. Panamanian showing good strength. Dinalise back in. Loose in front again. And Harriet having to clear it away. It's been a scramble in front of Kamar Foster for the past 90 seconds or so. And last touch coming off of Santos.
No, when we have come out, brother, come out with a purpose.
Here's Malik Foster trying to hold up play, surrounded by 3 different red jerseys, and it's going to be a foul against Foster. Azofeifa a bit shaken up. Really is the maestro in the middle for Johnny Chavez. Did an excellent job of controlling the tempo. The Santos side not necessarily in good form. Just 1 win in their last 5 matches. Their last 4, excuse me. This being their 5th. Ball lofted in, flicked along, and Foster can see it go wide. Recently for Santos de Guapoles, a 3-0 loss against Herediano. Of course, the 2-1 loss midweek to Portmore in the first leg. And then they got a 2-1 win over Carmelita. Dinalise and Rodriguez with the goals, and then a 2-1 loss to Saprissa to start out the 2018-19 season. Jorge Davis with the goal for Johnny Chavez's side in that affair, which ended with no points. Harriet needs to keep it in play. This goes down quickly by Williams, who has the best chance of the match so far from point-blank range, but denied by Kamar Foster. Very much a front runner for All-State save of the game at this point. Big switch coming over to the near side. It's an encouraging first touch. Ball intended for Williams, but knocked away. Good defensive positioning from Ryan Wellington in his 4th season with Portmore, but had a little bit of a lone spell with Harborview in the recent season. Salas gets a good cross away. Dealt with again by the Portmore back line. And now Javon East is off and running. Here's Fair. Trying to slide into the path of Malik Foster. You can see a frustrated bunch of white jerseys up top. For Portmore, they've yet to start the Red Stripe Premier League, and that's why we see virtually the same exact starting lineup for Shavar Thomas. No need to balance between international competition and their domestic league. And Shavar getting a little bit of advice from one of his technical assistants. Marquero a bit shaken up. And it'll go the other way. There's Juan Madrigal and company, give it away and then commit the foul. Malik Foster gets it away for Morris. Morris again. And the ball given away by the Portmore center back. I believe it was Salomon. Often in the space intended for Williams. Kamar Foster will easily take down for Portmore as Santos de Guapolis getting a little bit impatient there. Taking a bit more of a direct route. Johnson shields off Raymond Salas. Spraying it out wide is Willis for Harriet. East. In for Foster. And some options with him. Roberto Johnson once more. Towards the back post. Trying to keep it in play is Javon East. Through the legs of the defender. Here's Fair. Gets it across, but nobody home for the Jamaican club. Excellent work just to keep it in play and get the cross away. Here's Fenton Evans. Malik Foster on the turn. Malik Foster is in, but he completely scuffed it, and it goes wide. What an opportunity for the 21-year-old. Oh, the turn was just downright filthy. Check this out, folks. Takes it on the first time, puts it right in front of him, but then when Morales comes out, you see Malik Foster just pick his head up, and it changed what he was going to do. And he just completely scuffed it. Ricardo Morris was with him, but I don't blame Malik Foster for trying to take that himself. So both Stephen Williams and Malik Foster in their book should probably have a goal. And it's going to be offside on Portmore. Portmore starting to settle into this game, and while they are the home side, Santos de Guapolis very much fancy themselves to be a possession-based club as far as this tournament is concerned, at least. And we expected them to have the majority of the possession, as Dean Elise was trying to find Williams. Salaman. Fair. He's looking for the big diagonal ball. Harriet. That was intended for East. Jose Garro looking for an option. Good one at the back from Wellington. Ricardo Morris, so smooth on the ball, the lefty. Johnson stood up by Juan Madrigal. Into the 19th minute, still no score in this second leg. A 2-1 lead for Portmore United on aggregate. And as it stands, they'll be moving on to the quarterfinals. FC Matagua awaits. Von Dern's side, who was just recently in the Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League, taking down the Belmopan Bandits by a score of 3-0. Azofeifa. Garro. And Jorge Davis lets Brian Morales come and collect. And Raymond Salas sees his first touch let him down. East holding up play until he's dispossessed. Santos patient as we're approaching the 20-minute mark here from the National Stadium in Jamaica, in the heart of Kingston. Juan Madrigal just floats it in. Won by Wellington. Arquero. Straight off the face of Javon East. Santos keep it. Azofeifa, the captain. In for Williams. And cleared away by Roberto Johnson. Harriet. Very much a battle in the middle third of the park at the moment. Neither team giving an inch, neither team wanting to concede, but at the same time, trying to pick and choose their spots where to attack. As Barquero goes down again. Fernando Gomez hasn't had a ton of work to do, our head referee, but he's been solid when he's needed to blow the whistle. And he's just arriving a little bit late, swiping at the ball that was already gone. Fans starting to file in a little bit late with the early start here in Kingston. Raymond Salas, not enough height to win that header. It's played coolly into the feet of Ricardo Morris, who sees plenty of green in front of him. Trying to take it on that left foot, but stood up very nicely. At the back from Brian Lopez. Boine. Malik Foster pressuring. Jorge Davis just skirts around the youngster. Boine again. Into the feet of Salas. Salas again. Squares it across. As Ofefa broken up at the last. Good defensive play from Shivani Willis. And then set the other way, but Foster very much offside. With all the pace that Malik Foster possesses, doesn't need to sit all that deep on the center backs. Probably as both Davis and Jose Garro beat for pace. Foster, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, very bright future. Couldn't quite hold his run, but he attended the Caribbean Combine back on January 19th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That is invite only, and Tyrone Marshall, who some Jamaican fans will remember, is an assistant with Real Salt Lake of Major League Soccer, as well as a former Jamaican defender on the Reggae Boys national team, as Salas gets it towards the byline. And Madrigal's service denied. And Tyrone Marshall had this to say about Malik Foster, that he was the best player at the Caribbean Combine by far, and that he's shocked that he's not yet on an MLS roster. And we saw what he can do in terms of technical ability as Johnson holds off the on-rushing Santos player, and a goal kick coming for Kamara Foster. Both teams still trying to find their groove, but for Portmore United, it's more about game management than anything. Santos are the one who need to go ahead and get their goal. And that would, at the very least, tie it on aggregate, but it would be Portmore moving through on away goals. Santos need 2. Header won by Morris. Good challenge from Williams. Salas. Good pressure from Johnson. Frustrated Johnny Chavez, seeing his side be rather stagnant for the past 5-10 minutes. Malik Foster lets it run through. East spraying it over to the far side. It's Fair. Loves these 1v1 situations. Gets towards the byline. Sends it across. It takes a deflection. And another corner coming up for Portmore United. I'll tell you what, Donaji Fair of Suriname has been absolutely sensational when he gets the ball in space. Has no fear of running at defenders. And he's putting a lot of fear into the Santos back line. Here he is on top of the corner. Second season with Shavar Thomas and Portmore United. Gets all the way to the back post. Morris has it on that favored left foot. Lofts it in. Harriet was claiming that he was held up. It gets all the way back to Fair. His delivery not a bad one. Malik Foster rises, but can't rise high enough. And a goal kick coming. And you can see the Portmore bench ready to erupt at even a sniff at goal. And to Harriet's credit, he was completely held up by Boine. Fair continues to be impressive. 28th minute, still no score. 2-1 to Portmore on the aggregate. Lopez. Great little 1-2. Madrigal sends it across, parried away by Foster. And knocked away. Ricardo Morris holding it up beautifully. It just flicks it along and out of play, but Kamar Foster again coming up large for Chavar Thomas and this Portmore United side. Long ball sent forward, brought down. It was an excellent first touch from Barquero, but the offside flag was up. The chess match continues in the middle third of the field. We've seen Santos be a bit more direct than we're used to seeing. Portmore just trying to expose the space on the counter. And that's extremely close. As Morales needs to send this away, playing in that sweeper-keeper role. Could spark the counterattack. Ball whipped in, and it's in! Santos have their first goal. They're gonna need one more if they want to advance. And it's their man from Panama, Ronaldo Dinalise, with just a glancing header that sneaks into the far post. 2-2 on aggregate, still Portmore going through. The ball whipped in is excellent, and all it takes is a little deflection from Dinalise to redirect it and throw Kamar Foster off. And Foster actually got a touch to it. Well, he's certainly going to want that one back with how good he's been in the first 28 minutes or so. Excellent build-up from Santos. Hardly a build-up, though, but just a long ball sent forward from Morales. Portmore was still retreating after sending numbers forward. And the ball whipped in. Just good enough so that Dinalise could get ahead to it. The pressure's still on Santos. Portmore, though, slightly more uneasy. Williams giving chase. Wellington gets there. Just gets enough on it to Johnson. Evans. Here's East. It's over for Fair. He's been loving this right flank. Donagy Fair. Trying to get it back for Javon East, but thwarted by the Santos back line. The only way that we can have penalties is by a 2-1 result in favor of Santos. That would match the first leg result. Here's Donagy Fair again. Barquero got a touch to it, needs to keep it in play. Barquero looking to win something and able to win a free kick. Fair a little bit too aggressive in his efforts to win the ball back. Portmore will be kicking themselves for that Malik Foster chance they had about 15 minutes ago. Santos on the other side. Probably should have had one in the first 5 minutes with Stephen Williams. But a great save from Kamar Foster. Williams up for the header. Dinalise, the goal scorer. Bullish work to try to win it back, and Harriet wisely knocks it off of Salas, who is floated over to that left-hand side. Fair. Brought down by Azofeifa. Malik Foster sends it back, long range effort, going for the curler was Venton Evans. Not bad from Portmore. Looking for that final product though, and looking for another goal to give them the same breathing room that they came into this contest with. Fair trying to win it. Barquero holding strong, shielding him off. And now it's Arboine. Header won by Johnson. Madrigal back into the area. Portmore were outstanding in the Red Stripe Premier League a year ago. 26-7, a +37 goal differential. Next highest was +16. This goes to show the offensive and defensive dominance displayed by Shavar Thomas's side. Work to do for Harriet. Goes back for Foster, and he just clears it away. Able to find Fair. Away from the first defender, finding Ricardo Morris. Looking to slide it through, but East a step behind it. Brian Morales' clearance, not his best. Fernando Gomez's play on. Azofeifa letting the ball do the work. Madrigal didn't like what he saw. He has to go back for Arboine. Good distribution. See, Jorge Davis has moved into a slightly more advanced role, wearing number 29 and now on top of the ball. In his first season with Santos. A number of players in their first season either getting the start tonight or got the start a week ago. Santos de Guapiles have never won a Costa Rican title. Morris back for Johnson, but shielded off nicely by Lopez. Dinalise, not exactly sure what he was trying to accomplish, but the end result is a goal kick. And apologizes to his comrades. Here's a look at Dinalise's goal. Ball whipped in was excellent from Barquero. Or rather, that was Raymond Salas. After making a tactical change, Johnny Chavez moving him over to the left-hand side, feeling that his services might be of more use on the opposite wing. Portmore trying to play out of trouble. Ricardo Morris's pass just out of the reach of Johnson. And more pressure from the Costa Rican side, who are up 1-0 in this second leg, 2-2 on aggregate, but still trail on away goals. Foster gets it along for Morris, but his first touch is a heavy one and allows Lopez to be able to recover. Santos finishing 11-7-4 in the most recent edition of the Costa Rican Domestic League. Plus 18 goal differential. Herediano actually finished in first. And Evans, we've yet to see his stamp placed on this match. Santos have done a good job of trying to neutralize some of the dangerous weapons Portmore sport in the middle of the park. As this one's sent forward and the offside flag will now go up. And Morris was still denied by Brian Morales. Another one by Wellington. Great first touch from Lopez. Now putting the brakes on. One more move. Lopez sends it in, but nodded away. And Roberto Johnson on skates and then some. As the U15 Reggae boys soaking in the scenes here at the National Stadium. Corner lofted in. Still loose in the box. Williams, a touch to it. It's in. It's Lopez, the creator of the corner, now giving Santos the lead on the aggregate. It was a simple loose ball in front and just knocked home. Nothing Kamar Foster could do about it. And Santos de Guapiles, as it stands, marching on to the quarterfinals, have 2 goals here in the first half. Well, it bounced around. Portmore failed to clear it. As you see, Davis and Evans challenging. Bounces off of Roberto Johnson and then thumped into the corner. Well, Brian Lopez, who did not get the start but came on as a substitute in the 46th minute for Dean Elise in the first leg, making the most of his start here in the second. And just might have put Santos over the top and into the next round of the 2018 Scotiabank Concacaf League. Still plenty of time remaining. But that's the story at the moment. Lopez in his first season. 28 years of age, came over from Perez Zeledon. Spent some time with Alajuelense, as well as Belen and Cartagenes. Here's Malik Foster. Portmore United looking to answer on the other end. A goal from Portmore and be penalties if it were to finish 2-1. So a penalty shootout now a very real possibility given the current score line. All it takes is one from Portmore, and a player is down on the far side. Johnny Chavez not happy with the treatment that Dean Elise is receiving here in the capital of Jamaica. One of the 2 goal scorers tonight for Santos.
El juego nosotros vamos por ahí, tiene que tenerlo claro. Usted tiene que meterse al centro y gire, y ahí sí yo puedo conectar. Es el trabajo de ayer.
Johnny Chavez just offering some of the members of his back line in the middle of the park some advice as to how to go about the rest of the first half. As you can see, Salaman just catching Dean Elise on the head. Looks to be a bit shaken up, but a warrior nonetheless. Shavar Thomas with a perplexed look. Kamar Foster has not been able to do much about the second goal. Probably wants the first one back from Dean Elise as he got a hand to the header. That was guided in to the far post, as we'll have 1 minute of stoppage time here in Kingston. Morris, Donaji Fair, the man from Suriname, lost it in towards the back post. Brought down, Malik Foster sends it across. Foster! It's in for Portmore! What a response from the Jamaican side! And it's their bright young star, Malik Foster, who makes it 2-1 in the second leg. It's now 3-3 on aggregate, and as it stands, we're headed for a penalty shootout. What a ball in from Fair. Foster and Fair just switched sides in the last 2 minutes or so. And much like the most recent Santos goal, just a scramble in front of Malik Foster with a cool head and a cool finish. And the Portmore bench loving every minute of it. Wow. No goals in the first 29 minutes of play. We have 3 goals in the last 15 minutes. 2 for Santos, 1 for Portmore. 6 goals in the two-legged affair as it stands, split right down the middle at 3-3. If you don't like Concacaf League football, you don't have a pulse. And that's going to do it for the first half. What a twist in the tail we just had. Santos get 2 unanswered goals in the 30th minute and the 42nd. And then right before the halftime break, Malik Foster with the finish in front. Donaji Fair with the ball in. Foster cleaning it up. And as it stands, we are heading to penalties. 2-1 in his second leg as we head to halftime. Brian Lopez and Dean Elise, the goal scorers for Santos. Malik Foster for Portmore United. It's 3-3 on aggregate. Both teams heading to the dressing room. And we could be heading for penalties. Still 45 minutes to play. We'll step aside for a few moments. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a look at how the first half went down early on. Donaghy Fair, as we saw all throughout the 45 minutes, whenever Portmore were trying to break down Santos on the counter, was electric in the final third, taking on defenders with no regard for human life. This ball sent in from Giovanni's. Malik Foster couldn't handle it. And then this was a terrific save from Kamar Foster, by far the front runner for All-State save of the game, as the 25-year-old keeper did extremely well. Santos putting more pressure on this Portmore side, who really didn't see too much of the ball. This is a great moment for Malik Foster, but just completely scuffs the finish in the end. The first touch was outstanding, but Brian Morales closing him down, the goalkeeper of the tournament in 2017 in the Concacaf League, closing down the angle and making sure Malik Foster wasn't comfortable when trying to slot it past him. And then more pressure from Santos. Juan Madrigal sends it across, parried away by Foster. And the Santos side would continue to grow into the game. Portmore, the home side, well, it didn't exactly look to be in control. And then the 30th minute, Dean Elise, a header that just sneaks past Kamar Foster. Take another look. Foster gets a hand to it, but whether it's skipped over or just the nature of the header, perhaps a little bit of spin on it, didn't allow Foster to be able to get a clean save. Johnny Chavez and company loved the opening goal, but it wouldn't be enough for Santos. They would need a second in order to take the lead on aggregate, with Portmore scoring 2 away goals. And right on cue, in the 41st minute, Brian Lopez tucks it away in his first season with Santos, making his presence felt, getting his first start in the tournament and making the most of it. But then right before the half, Malik Foster right back up on his feet and right back onto the score sheet. Missed a chance earlier, no way he was missing that. And Portmore United answer right back, and the wild celebrations continue from Jamar Thomas's club. As they leveled it on aggregate, it's level on away goals, and it would be penalties if the scoreline were to remain this way. We'll take a look at the statistics from the first 45 minutes. Portmore actually with the share of possession that we didn't necessarily expect, but you can see the shots from Santos outweighing Portmore by 8-4, but shots on target, well, Santos have 2, those have found the back of the net. Portmore have 1, that found the back of the net. And that's really all she wrote for the first 45 minutes, folks. 45 minutes to go here. If it remains this way, we're headed straight to the penalty spot, and we'll sort it out that way. Portmore all too familiar with that fate from 2017. Santos more of the same as they went down in penalties in the final to Olympia. We'll try to sort it out in the second half if we can. Don't go anywhere, folks. Second half kickoff right around the corner. Almost set for the second half here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. Portmore United with the most recent scoring development in the form of Malik Foster. That made it 2-1 in the second leg. That made it 3-3 on aggregate. As we're officially underway for the second 45 minutes, Tyler Terran's on hand. Glad to have you with us for what should be a very entertaining second half. And if it is not, and if the scoreline stays the same, well, we'll head to the cruelest happenings in all of football, a penalty kick shootout. Javon Easton, Portmore United Football Club, looking to avoid a similar fate in 2017 where they were ousted in the round of 16 in penalties to Plaza Amador. Long throwing comes in, won by Jorge Davis. Dinalise gets a touch to it. Lopez is also in the neighborhood. It's great skill from Venton Evans. Ricardo Morris bending it in, gets all the way through. Malik Foster was waiting for it, but an important touch. It looked like came from Raymond Salas. And just thumped back in. Brian Morales lines it up. It's off the crossbar, and Fair couldn't react in time. What a bizarre sequence of events. Almost ended up with Portmore taking the lead. Well, that's why you see so many times keepers in this situation just try to punch it over the bar. But the trajectory of the ball completely threw off Brian Morales. And Donaji Fair, I don't even know if he would want that one back because it was so awkward. But chalk it up to a chance for Portmore. And for any youngsters watching out there, following up the play, well, it could certainly do you some good. Header won by Salaman. Portmore settling in nicely here in the second half. Malik Foster. And the throw-in will stay with Santos. Stephen Williams had a great opportunity in the opening few minutes, but an awesome save from Kamar Foster. Foster winning the throw-in for Portmore. Santos trying to stay in front of this very quick. And counter-attacking Shavar Thomas' side. Here's Wellington. 27-year-old local boy from Kingston. Arquero. Morales gave it away, but Fair stumbles. Well, it hasn't been the start to the second half that Donaji Fair was hoping for. He was so electric in the first 45 minutes. And he won't get credited with the assist on the Malik Foster goal, but certainly deserves something out of this game. He's been given a couple of opportunities now to grab something from it, but the soccer god's not exactly on his side at the moment. Williams gets it out wide. First dangerous move from Santos in the second half. Madrigal loops it in. And it'll be a foul coming out the other way. Dinalise and Williams both crashing into Kamar Foster. 5 minutes into the second half. 3-3 on aggregate. Penalties awaits if the scoreline does not move. Williams able to get onto it. Fernando Gomez says play on. Little scoop back for Dean Elise. The Panamanian already with 1 goal tonight. Fouled on the edge of the area, and a free kick coming up for Santos in a dangerous area. Santos trying to sort out exactly what they want to do with this free kick. Meanwhile, Kamar Foster, the 25-year-old keeper, sorting out his defensive unit. Portmore conceding an away goal would be disastrous. They would need a flat-out result if that were the case. Dean Elise sends it all the way across. It was a good ball, but nobody trailing at the back post for the Costa Rican side, and as a result, a throw-in for the Jamaican club. Good step from Barquero. Foster hunting after the ball. Barquero still with it. As Ofefa. Jose Garro. Raymond Salas with the assist on the Dean Elise goal. Barquero whips it in. And nodded away by Tamano Salaman. Wellington able to keep it in play. It's actually really well done. But Santos, all of their outside backs rolling up and making life difficult for Portmore, who are trying to play out of pressure. And it'll be a foul against Santos. Ricardo Morris going down. And a yellow card issued. To Pablo Arboine. And just preventing Ricardo Morris from progressing any further. Jorge Davis. Foster gets a touch to it, but the last touch. And now it's Portmore trying to pin in Johnny Chavez's crew. FC Motagua of Honduras awaits either two of these sides. Foster, good first touch, his second. Wasn't able to get it past Arboine. Here's Lopez, the second goal scorer for Santos, trying to race around Venton Evans. On the G-Fair. Poked away by Juan Madrigal. Early ball sent in, it's Foster again. Really skying for that one, but his header flying wide. He is an absolute nuisance along that Santos back line. Look at this ball whipped in from Ricardo Morris. And Foster was essentially parallel to the ground. Foster. Here's Harriet, bending it in. Ricardo Morris couldn't get a final touch to it. How good is he on the ball? Evans, Donaji Fair. Great little Maradona from Roberto Johnson. Still with it, gets the cross away. And snatched out of the air by Morales. Really blue-collar work over on the far side just to get the cross away, and Dean Elise just simply jumps right in Tindamato Solomon called for the foul. Ball sent forward, offside flag is up. Just by half a step, Javon East is offside. Remember, 2 late games tonight, folks. Real España and Tauro at 10 o'clock, as well as Arnett Gardens of Jamaica and Arabe Unido of Panama. Portmore looking for a way out. Given away, Dean Elise is there. Could be costly. Referee says no foul. And in the end, it's good defending from Solomon. That was a dangerous ball at the back from Chivani Willis, I should say. Salas just dinks it forward. Barquero. Dean Elise was waiting for it. Back out for Salas, excellent move. Going for goal, but blocked by Solomon. He's been everywhere defensively for Portmore. Cleared away. Garro getting forward for the center back position. Barquero again. Whips it in, Foster off his line and able to collect. But a dangerous looking spell for Santos Teguapolis. It was started by a giveaway at the back from Willis. And almost resulted in a 3rd Santos goal. That would really change the narrative. Fair, brought down, no call. Wellington gets to it. Here's Evans. Ricardo Morris, a little cushion header for Fair. Back out for the captain, but he's offside. And that's mighty close. If he is off, it's by a couple of arm hairs. Johnson with some work to do. Williams giving him all he can handle and then some. And also giving Portmore a free kick. All the way back for Foster. Solomon. Good delivery into the feet of Javon East. Now it's over for Donaji Fair. Fair's delivery. Foster will get there. Malik Foster. Gets to the byline, and his service over the head of everyone, and kept in play by Fair. A little bit of ping pong going on in the 2018 Scotiabank Concacaf League. Little back heel into the path of Johnson, sends it all the way across. Foster was there, but an important touch. Both players are down. Both sacrificing their body for the good of the team. And in the end, it's Santos who come away unscathed. And look how close Malik Foster was to putting Portmore up in front. Michael Barquero just completely lays out. Barquero starting to appear in almost every game for Santos in their run to the finals in 2017. Absolute warrior for Johnny Chavez. And you can see why. He's just one of those outside backs that you cannot live without. Does a lot for them defensively, which is obvious, but offensively he can get involved in the attack and whips in more than quality delivery. Juan Madrigal played more than 15 minutes here in the second half. Still remains 3-3 on aggregate, level on away goals. And you guessed it, folks, penalties on the horizon. Barquero. Jose Garro. Spraying it out wide, but Brian Lopez cannot keep it in play. And the look from Johnny Chavez says it all. Javon East holding up play nicely, showing excellent strength and skill, finding Ricardo Morris. Morris bending it in, hoping for Foster, and Barquero knocks it away. I'll tell you what, the movement from Foster creating all sorts of problems, but Michael Barquero, well aware of the movement and the capabilities of the 21-year-old, having already devastated Santos once by putting the ball in the back of the net. Barquero hell-bent on making sure it doesn't happen twice. And some substitutes starting to get ready for either side.
Play on. Play.
Corner's kept low. And we'll do it one more time.
Okay, play.
Fair. All the way towards the back post. Salaman. Madrigal defending. Salaman gets it away. Harriet lets it run through. And another touch from Barquero as Malik Foster was looking to turn or lay off a teammate. Here's Dean Elise on the move. Willis escapes trouble and escapes the sliding challenge from Dean Elise and then sprays it out wide. But it's offside. Shavar Thomas claiming that there was a defender keeping Salaman onside. Let's take another look. And he might be right. It appeared that Barquero was about a step and a half behind the rest of his back line. And Eder Solorzano, who made a number of appearances for Santos off the bench in the 2017 edition of the Scotiabank Concacaf League, is going to come on and he'll replace one of the goal scorers in Brian Lopez. So the 28-year-old comes off. Solorzano getting an opportunity here. Had one goal in the 2017 campaign. Evans. Morrison behind, hoping for East. But all they get is the offside flag. Solorzano making his first appearance for Santos in this 2018 edition. Substitutes used in the first leg were Barquero, Stephen Williams, and Brian Lopez. Two of those players getting the start here tonight in Lopez and Williams. As the header knocked away by Salomon. Clinton Evans. Ricardo Morris dumping it in behind. Fair giving chase. Still in pursuit. And Morales able to knock it over the head of the man from Suriname. And the foul's going to go against Javon East. Shamar Thomas consulting with the rest of his technical staff as to exactly the substitution or tactical change that they're going to make. He was a defender himself way back when, during his playing days. Salas trying to squeeze it through. Might be able to get the second ball, if not for a sliding challenge from Willis, and last touch coming off of Salas. You can see Portmore taking a pretty conservative approach. Solorzano getting his first touch. Sported number 27 in 2017. Now just getting rid of the 2 and wearing number 7. Madrigal. Garo looking to the far side. Santos slowly but surely making their way up the field and looking for another away goal that would surely put them through. East, how good is that? With the ball in from Malik Foster, a little bit too close to Brian Morales. Foster again, coming deep to receive it. Azofefa. Knocking on the door of the 70th minute. An electric play in the first half has been followed up by pretty tactical and conservative here in the second. Garo looking for an option. Portmore drawing that line in the sand just right above midfield. Solorzano. Looking to dink it through. Dinalise was the intended target. Salomon got there. Madrigal. Now Williams. Broken up by Willis. Striding forward. It was a good idea. You could see what he was trying to do, finding Malik Foster in between the seams of the center back and the outside back. But Foster not making the run, and as a result, Santos pick it up and look to counter on the other end. So Lozano straight through Roberto Johnson. Sends it across, it takes a deflection, and a corner coming up for the Costa Rican side. Johnny Chavez going to make his second substitution of the evening. It'll be Starling Matarrita, who was fabulous for Santos a year ago in this competition. Scored a number of goals, some very important ones as well. It was mainly him and Kenny Cunningham who are doing the scoring for Johnny Chavez's club on their way to the final. Then he'll have an opportunity to make an impact as a substitute here in the 71st minute and onward. Mind you, these managers making changes with penalties in mind as well. Have to imagine Matarrita would be one of the 5 takers for Johnny Chavez, should we get to that point. Malik Foster, room to run. Fair to his left. It's along for Donaji Fair. Fair still with it, trying to get around Madrigal. And the ball traveled out of play. The 20-year-old just got caught taking too many touches. Santos moving the other way. Dean Elise already with 1 goal to his name tonight. And had it poked away by Wellington. And Javon East with a forearm shiver. And just drops Solorzano. And now the first substitution being made for Shavar Thomas. And it's going to be Fair coming off. And Rondi Smith, the 27-year-old who just celebrated his 27th birthday on Tuesday, coming onto the scene here. Replaced Javon East in the 93rd minute in the first leg. And we'll get a bit more of a runabout here in the second and in the 73rd minute. And a good run from Donaji Fair. As you can see, starting to labor in the dying embers of this match. As Ofefa bending it in, gets all the way through. Dean Elise. That was a handball. And he can't believe that he made that sort of mistake. It might be a yellow card for the Panamanian as well. And indeed it will be. As blatant as they come. Almost looked like Dean Elise was trying to complete the alley-oop. And another substitution getting ready to come on for Johnny Chavez. That'll be his 3rd and final substitute in about 5 minutes. And it looks like it's Francisco Rodriguez getting ready to come on. This ball sneaking under the feet of Salaman. Dean Elise sends it across. Matarrita just skipped over his foot. Not sure whether it would have been onside or not, but either way, a goal kick coming up for Kamar Foster. And Santos, over the past 90 seconds, have had 2 stupendous opportunities to take the lead. It's 3-3 on aggregate, 2-1 in the second leg. Malik Foster's goal proved to be the equalizer and set everything straight. And it is still penalties that await these two sides on the end of the 90 minutes if the scoreline remains the same. We mentioned before, Francisco Rodriguez getting set to come on, and he'll replace Dean Elise. So a great run from Dean Elise. 75 minutes of work, as well as a goal. He probably thinks he should have had more, but his say in how this game unfolds will come to an end. And on comes Rodriguez. Rodriguez providing one of the 2 goals along with Dean Elise in their 2-1 win and their only win in the Costa Rican Domestic League over Carmelita a couple weeks ago. Dean Elise getting some love from the bench, who wait anxiously to see if their side can pull out one more goal. Pressure at the back, just lofted forward. Malik Foster giving chase. Barquero caught a little bit of trouble. Here's Rondi Smith. Bent in. R.A. Davis is there. Matarrita bringing it down. Here's Rodriguez. First touch of the night. Trying to clip it over the top for Matarrita. It's a good idea. There's a foul right at the edge of the area and a free kick from quite literally 18 yards out. It's a yellow card for Wellington, and it's a marvelous opportunity for Santos from the free kick. Rod Rodriguez making his presence felt immediately after coming on. And Wellington probably could have let him go, with Kamar Foster reading the play the entire way and off of his line already. But he brought him down, and now an excellent chance. And the question for Santos is who's going to take it. If I were a betting man, which I am certainly am not, I would have to put money on Azofeifa. The captain and Starling Matarrita on top of it at the moment, as the Portmore wall gets escorted a few feet back. Could this be the moment for Santos from the free kick? This is where all those hours on the training ground could pay off. Those thousands upon thousands of balls struck. Arboine in the mix as well. It'll be Arboine. Takes a couple of deflections. Still loose. Rodriguez lays it off. Raymond Salas. Solorzano. Portmore with all 11 defending at the moment. And Ricardo Morris able to win a goal kick. And not the trip down the field that Santos had hoped for. Foster unable to keep it in play. We're in the 79th minute. A little more than 10 minutes remaining in this one. Both sides all too familiar with penalties in this tournament. Azofeifa trying to spray it across. Good pursuit from Javon East. Roberto Johnson finding Evans, but Evans only finding Juan Madrigal in the opposite color jersey. Santos stretching the field in the form of Raymond Salas. Solorzano, one of the three substitutes, have already entered the game for Santos. Patient from Portmore, asking Santos to be stretched. Kamar Foster gets it over. for Salaman. Tripped up, gets it along the byline. And you can't keep it in play for Malik Foster. Madrigal got a touch to it, as did Johnson. And a goal kick coming up. Still 2 substitutes remain for Shavar Thomas. Neither team wanting to push too many numbers forward and leave themselves exposed, particularly Santos, who are well aware of the counter-attacking ability of the Jamaican side. Smith trying to cut it back for East. Azofeifa hasn't been too involved tonight, but has connected the dots when he's needed to. Solorzano. Azofeifa, a heavy first touch. Rarely see that from him. Malik Foster now sending it the other way. It's an excellent ball. The first time hit from Javon East is over the bar. Didn't really have many other options. Check out Malik Foster just picking up his head and dropping it on a dime for Javon East. And that's a difficult ball to take, coming over your shoulder and on the half volley. And it probably would have already won goal of the tournament had it gone into the back of the net. Salaman wins the header. Johnny Chavez trying to help his club push forward. But they're taking their time, maybe some weary legs and some tired minds. All right, Davis shoved from behind by Malik Foster. Offers a helping hand. Matarrita. Kamar Foster and company await. Matarrita's delivery, it's a good one. However, the header won by Portmore United. Here's Smith trying to get to the outside. Arbone comes away with it. His delivery intended for Rodriguez. Loose in front. Wellington gets a touch and helped along by Willis, only as far as Azofeifa. Santos threatening in the dying moments, but Foster comes out and collects. Malik Foster again going for the long ball. Javon East, an excellent first touch. East is in, cuts it back, but denied by Morales. Sends it back. Rodney Smith bringing it down and cleared away. Brian Morales, goalkeeper of the tournament in 2017, picking up right where he left off here in 2018. Ball sent back in, and it's Morales' again. Starting to open up late here. Both sides with golden opportunities to steal it at the death. This time from Salaman. Kamar Foster was calling off Harriet. He has to clear it away himself, but right to the thigh of Foster, who's brought down from behind. No call from the referee, Fernando Gomez. And a throw in for Santos. We'll take another look. It's Foster again. He's just been picking these out left and right. East adjusts his run, cuts it back. And he probably should have played Rondi Smith with Brian Morales right up in Giovanni's grill, allowing him no angle. The ball probably should have been off of his foot, but in the heat of the moment, much more easier said than done. Madrigal lifting it forward. Willis. He's been dictating the tempo for Shavar Thomas's club all night, putting in great tackles as well. Here he is again. Wellington. Portmore deciding to roll up their outside backs and perhaps make one last push at this thing before we head to penalties. Off the back of Barquero. Falls for Harriet. First time delivery. Almost an own goal. Arboine got it all wrong. And a corner kick coming up for Portmore. Could it prove to be a disastrous mistake for Santos? Brian Morales organizing at the back. Fenton Evans over to take it. Still two substitutes allowed for Shavar Thomas. He's only used one in the form of Rondi Smith. All three have been used for Johnny Chavez. 88th minute. 3-3 on aggregate, level on away goals. The delivery is a good one, but handled by Jose Garro. Malik Foster, long for Morris. Calm, cool, and collected in tight quarters. Dinks it forward, but Evans wasn't making the run. Morales taking his time. At this point, both sides more than happy to take their chances in penalties. Not willing to risk conceding. Johnson up for the header. East, who's been very active in the second half, much more than we saw in the first 45 minutes. Keeps it for Portmore United. Won by Madrigal. Solorzano. Still waiting on the official word of stoppage time. Here's Rondi Smith latching onto it and winning a deep throw in for Portmore. Officially into the 90th minute. Malik Foster. Long throw in from Harriet. And cleared away by Matarrita. And we'll have 120 seconds, 2 minutes added on to the 90. Maybe just enough for either side to get the game-winning goal and to send their side into the quarterfinals. Rodriguez fouled by Willis.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, once Santos got that second goal, you almost had a feeling that Portmore were not going to be held scoreless at home, and that penalties, well, not a certainty, but very much a reality. And it very well may come to fruition. Clearance not the best from Harriet, trying to prevent the corner, able to do so, but Santos with a deep throw in now. Salas. Shifty move, Harriet not having any of his tricks, but does concede a corner as we're almost into the second minute of 2 minutes of stoppage time. Penalties within reaching distance. Matarrita. Good corner sent in. Foster is there, however. And you can see Foster's teammates telling him to slow up. Not trying to give it away and allow Santos one last opportunity. Smith gets ahead to it as Ofefa plays it out. That might just do it. Cleared away by Salaman. As Ofefa. Referee allowing play to go on. The ball intended for Matarrita would have been a dangerous one. Rodriguez around two defenders, still with it. It goes out wide. Last chance here for Santos. The return for Solorzano. All the way across and out of play. Penalties. 180 minutes between Portmore United and Santos de Guapiles. Not enough to separate the two sides. And for the second straight year in the round of 16, Portmore's fate will be decided from 12 yards away. 2-1 the final score in the second leg. 3-3 the final on the aggregate. And now it comes down to skill and a little bit of intervention from Lady Luck. So this is now two straight Concacaf League matches that have gone to penalties for Santos, dating back to the 2017 final. The same goes for Portmore. Portmore made all of their penalties against Plaza Amador with the exception of the first taker in Grandison, who is no longer on the side. For Santos, they went more than 5 rounds with Olympia. And with tired legs littered all over the National Stadium here in Kingston, Jamaica, it comes down to who's going to be the sharpest and the coolest when they step up to the spot. Only one substitute was used for Shavar Thomas, and I have a feeling that that was calculated, not wanting to sacrifice any of the players on the field who very well may be in the top 5 of penalty takers. Kamar Foster, the keeper for Portmore United at 25 years of age, has a big task in front of him, going up against the Santos side who's been in this position before. They may not have succeeded in 2017. And you see Johnny Chavez giving the last words of advice, but at this point there's not much he can say. For Portmore, this could be one of the biggest games that they play all season. For Santos, well, they're just trying to escape and move on. Just a few moments away here from settling the coin toss between the two captains as to who's going to take first. I misspoke earlier. It was Santos losing 4-1 in penalties to Olympia in the final. Azofeifa, Lagos, and Barquero were the takers. Only Lagos connected. Azofeifa was the first taker. He missed. Barquero also missed as the third taker. And on the other side, for Portmore United, only one player remains on the field right now that took a penalty in that match against Plaza Amador, and that's Ricardo Morris. He was the fifth taker. He made it, but Grandison missed. And that would be the difference. The Jamaican club gather as one. The difference this time for Portmore. They're in front of their home crowd, or at least the fans who made the way from Portmore, which is about a 29-minute drive from their hometown to the capital of Jamaica, Kingston. Fernando Gomez making sure everything's in order. And the players make that long walk out to midfield. And if you ask me, there's no lonelier walk than the one from midfield to the penalty spot in all of sports. Gives you ample time to think about the task at hand. And sometimes the pressure and the moment can get to a taker. We'll just have to wait and find out who exactly has the calmest nerves in Kingston at the moment. Well, if you're a third-party spectator or even just a spectator for either club, these are the types of moments you live for, the types of moments that you can't watch, but you also can't look away. Brian Morales, the goalkeeper of the tournament in 2017, up against it here in the round of 16. And the first taker for Portmore will be Malik Foster, the hero for Portmore in regulation, scoring the goal to level it on the aggregate. Foster loose at the moment. After 90 minutes of play in either leg, 180 minutes in total, and kilometers upon kilometers covered. Both of these sides' fate will be decided from 12 yards away. Funny how this works sometimes. Foster stepping to the spot. One of the most talented youngsters Shavar Thomas has had in his 2 years with Portmore United. Brian Morales has been here and done that in the Scotiabank Concacaf League. Malik Foster, who just recently got called up to the Jamaican national team for 3 friendlies, looking to continue his fine run of form and has a chance for the penalty spot to get Portmore United off to a good start. Foster buries it. Calm, cool, and collected is the first taker for Shavar Thomas, and that's exactly what they were looking for. And now it's Azofeifa's turn to answer. Well, he was the first taker for Johnny Chavez in the final. Was unable to connect. Trying to right the wrong that he made almost a year ago. Azofeifa. Wow, just barely sneaks it in. Kamar Foster guessed the right way, and he is befuddled as to how that snuck in. And at the end of the day, this is a brilliant penalty from the captain, Azofeifa. You think that's something he's practiced since the last time he stepped to the spot in a big moment like that? And now it's Roberto Johnson as it's 1-1 after the first frame. Johnson just 22 years old. It's been great at outside back for Shamar Thomas. And he buries it. Same exact spot as Malik Foster. Then Portmore are 2 for 2. In the last 2 penalties, both keepers have guessed the right way, but the quality of the pens, too much for the keepers to handle. Kamar Foster will try again. And for Santos, well, they're looking to keep pace. Arboine scored a goal in the first leg from the penalty spot. And he buries it. 3 penalties, all in the bottom left corner, all rippling the back of the net, and it's 2-2 through the second frame. And now one of the main man at the back for Portmore, Domano Salaman. 23 years of age, scored 3 goals a year ago for Portmore United. Confidently walks up to the penalty spot. Brian Morales looking to make a save that could potentially send Santos through and give his side the edge heading into the latter half of the third frame. Salaman skies it. Oh, it's a nightmare for the center back. And Santos with the advantage. Well, he completely leans back. He went for power. And in the end, it's a nightmare of a penalty for number 4. And now Francisco Rodriguez, the substitute, and the third and final substitute for Johnny Chavez, looking to convert here. Kamar Foster awaits. Francisco Rodriguez tucks it in that left post. Santos have been living on the left side of the frame. Kamar Foster guesses right yet again, and Santos have been clinical from the spot up until this point. It's 3-2 to Santos as we head into the fourth frame. A miss here from Portmore and a make from Santos, and it's over. Venton Evans steps to the spot. Just a teenager at 18 years old. Evans. Oh, that's excellent. Just what the doctor ordered for Portmore. And Shamar Thomas's side has life. Well, that's a terrific penalty, almost identical to Azofeifa's a few takes ago. And now it's Starling Matarrita. He came on as one of the substitutes and was one of the more prolific scorers for Santos de Guapiles a season ago. He's yet to get going here in the new campaign, but can get Santos one step closer to the quarterfinals here from 12 yards away. Matarrita, again the left side. Santos have been excellent. And now all the pressure on Portmore United. Foster continues to guess the right way, but the sheer quality of the penalties from Johnny Chavez's side proving to be too hot to handle. A miss from Portmore, and it's over. If Ricardo Morris does convert, he gives his keeper one more opportunity. Morris, the captain and the leader. Ricardo Morris slides it home. Leading from this front is the skipper. And now it's up to Kamar Foster to keep Portmore's hopes alive and to avoid getting knocked out in the round of 16 for a second straight year by way of penalties. Does the 25-year-old keeper have it in store, or will Juan Madrigal send Santos into the final 8? Madrigal did not get to take in the final because his teammates before him could not convert. Juan Madrigal for Santos and to send them into the quarterfinal. And he skies it! Oh, goodness! How cruel can this game be? 4 straight makes for Santos. Madrigal with a chance to push them through. And he pushes it over the bar. We'll head to a 6th frame. And now it's Rondi Smith. I beg your pardon. That is Javon East. Javon East for Portmore. Thumps it home. And now Kamar Foster, one save away from Portmore, moving on to the quarterfinals. Well, it's a long run up from Javon East. But the long run up proves to be advantageous. All the pressure on Santos now. A save sends the Jamaican side through. Solorzano gets Foster going the wrong way for virtually the first time in this shootout. And we'll head to a 7th frame. Well, it was never going to be as easy as 5 frames for these two clubs. They fought extremely hard over the 180 minutes. Now it's Shivani Willis, the 17-year-old who will turn 18 in a month's time. In his 2nd season with Shavar Thomas, Willis buries it. Once more, it's Santos who need to convert, and it's Portmore who are clinical from the spot. A subdued fist pump because they are not out of the woods yet. Michael Barquero strolling to the penalty spot. Kamar Foster, I doubt any words of encouragement Barquero, who is excellent defensively tonight. Kamar Foster awaits. Barquero roofs it. It's excellent from Santos. Both of these sides with nerves made of steel. The moment has only gotten the better of two players, one from either side, in the form of Salaman and Juan Madrigal. Besides that, everyone else has been perfect. Harriet trying to continue this theme of perfection for Portmore. We're into the 8th frame. Harriet, clinical, fizzes it home into that bottom left corner. And Santos need to answer again. Well, keep in mind, folks, as we get deeper and deeper into these penalty kick takers, you hate to say it, but these are players who, well, the managers didn't necessarily trust to take it in the first 7 frames. Let's just put it that way. And now it's Raymond Salas. All Kamar Foster needs is one save to send them to the quarterfinals with a date with FC Motagua. Salas, saved by Foster. Portmore United on to the quarterfinals. Redemption from 2017. And the finalist from a year ago, Santos de Guapolis, ousted in the first round. The final score in penalties and the final score on the aggregate, 3-3. In penalties, it's 7-6. And Portmore United, the Jamaican side, under the tutelage of Shavar Thomas for not even a full 2 years, have a date with FC Motagua in the final 8. What a finish to what was an excellent first and second leg. Johnny Chavez and Shavar Thomas shake hands in midfield. That's going to do it from the National Stadium in the capital of Jamaica, and it's the home side. Portmore United marching on to the quarterfinals. Final score in penalties, 7-6. Final score on the aggregate, 3-3. Kamar Foster with the game-winning penalty save, and Portmore United live to fight another round in the 2018 Scotiabank Concacaf League. What an affair here in Jamaica. We hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon, folks.